Hey everybody, Donna with Photonic Health, and on today's episode of Health Made Simple, we are going to do a little bit of a deep dive into horse supplements. And this is a little bit of a opening up Pandora's box because there's a gajillion horse supplements out there. But today's special guest is Fleur Bryan. I'm super excited. She was born and raised in Ireland. She's a lifelong breeder, producer, and rider of show jumping horses. She moved to the United States back in 2002, and she owned and operated a breeding and competition facility in Kentucky for 15 years before an injury ended her career in that. She continues to coach and has a horse import business where she takes people to Ireland to buy horses. And thank God I've got enough because otherwise I'd be going to Ireland with her. Um, but more importantly, she was really struggling to find her place in the world at that moment in her life. And her brother, which I've met, is an absolute genius when it comes to horse supplements. And he had a horse supplement line, and he finally convinced her that she needed to deep dive into that and bring it into the United States. And so she launched Parkmore Supplements in 2018, and she's been helping people and their animals ever since. And she still continues to teach clinics and import horses, but we're going to talk about supplements today. So welcome, Fleur.
Hey, thanks, Donna. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Um, a little bit more, I met Flora through a mutual friend. And, I feel like I had my feed program dialed in pretty darn good because I've got horses ranging in age from 10 years old up to 29 years old. And for the most part, everybody has done fabulous. They're turned out 24/7 in Florida, which is not an easy environment to thrive in. And but I had just a couple horses that I was really, really struggling with. And we've been struggling for years. So first off was my Andalusian, who is like an air fern. He just like gains weight by looking at everything.
Kind of like
But
myself.
right. The second one is my saddlebred. And outwardly, you'd look at her, shiny, beautiful, engaging, active, curious, really healthy horse, right? The problem came in because her feet. We can never get her to grow heels on her front feet. Now, Brian's an advanced applied equine podiatrist, so he has, he's trimming her the right way. We've had rads done on her feet. We've done everything under the sun. We've tried other hoof growth supplements and we just never got anything. And so here comes Fleur and says, "Oh, I can fix that." And I went, "Yeah, right. I've heard that line a lot before." But she was recommended by a mutual friend that I highly, highly respect. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try my two horses on it. And two horses only. Within the first 10 days, I noticed a huge difference in my gelding that's overweight. The crusty neck, the fat pads, the super chunkiness, like just sort of melted. Now he's still overweight because he has been out of work for a year and a half. That's soon to change. However, it didn't look like a metabolic issue. It changed from that.
Yep.
The bigger thing, the bigger thing came when Brian went to trim my saddlebred and he picked up the bottom of the feet. And if you looked at them from the outside, they were a disaster. They were all chipped. The hoof wall was just chipped. It just looked like total crap. And most horse people would be like, oh my God, like freaking out. We were actually really excited because we've owned this horse for, gosh, almost 8 years now. She's never cracked and chipped the outer hoof wall of her feet. So what that told us was that structurally, internally, something was developing. Something was getting tougher and stronger. And then when Brian picked up the feet, trimmed them, and cleaned them out, lo and behold, we have heels. I have never been so excited in my entire life. And as they say, no hoof, no horse, right?
Yep, that is 100% correct. And I told you I could fix it because we don't just make feed supplements, we fix problems. And, I think what stands us out from so many other companies is we get to the root of what's going on. We don't just use a Band-Aid. We work with you, we work with your trainer, we work with your vet. We do what it takes to dig down in the roots and see what's going on, and then decide whether or not we can even help. And I mean, I think I told you no guarantees. Well, I think I can, I can fix it, but every horse is different. It's just like humans. Every horse is different. So there's never a guarantee that you can be guaranteed of one thing. Somebody's always going to make a liar out of you, right? There's always going to be an exception.
Correct.
But I'm
Always.
so
There's
excited.
nothing in life that's the only thing that's guaranteed in life is birth and death. That's it.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
But I was so excited when I heard that her heels were growing, because I'm like, this is exactly what we wanted, but it's happening way quicker than I would have expected. I was thinking, and I think I had said this to you, I was thinking 12 to 18 months. And how far in are we now?
So we started her on it in the beginning of June.
Yep.
Beginning of June. And to be really honest with you, we weren't expecting that either, because Brian, as an equine podiatrist, it always tells people you're not going to see a change in the horse's hoof for quite a while, like
Yes.
6 months to a year, 6 months to a year. And so you can see the outgrowth on that coronary band and, down. But we were so shocked that it was having a positive impact this early on.
Yep. So, quite frankly, there's two things. One being the balance of nutrients in that vitamin supplement that my brother designed. And, full disclosure, when I finally found a company to work with to subcontract manufacture those pellets, the head nutritionist there, the head designer in that company, looked at the code that I had given him from my brother and said, this is what we want to make. And he literally looked at me, a very, very polite gentleman, and he said, get that man on the phone. He's an effing genius. Right. And I got him on the phone, and he was like, I've never seen anything in all my years of designing. I've never seen or designed anything that good. So there's that. And then the combination of you paying attention and doing that detox, getting all the junk out. And cleaning the blood in the feet.
That's what I love about your program. So you're not just like, hey, here's a feed supplement. Good luck with that. Let me know how it works out for you. You actually have, and you say it so often, so beautifully, you've got a 3-phase program. It's what, detox,
So it's the detox. I call it. It's actually a 4-step. It's reset, reboot, rebuild, restore, clean and rebuild from the inside out. Right. So it's the detox, the vitamin pellet. So that's your cleaning, your binding, your daily software. Then you have the immune support, which is that yeast-based nucleotide, the PSB. So that's your cell regeneration, cell replication. That's your rebuild. And then your restore really is the custom blend of herbs, of which we make multiples, but the 3 main ones are the general wellness, which you can compete on, the gut version for the ulcers and And then the breathing version for the horses with asthma, severe anhidrosis, and indeed ones that make a noise. We've put horses that were getting ready to have tieback surgery, or as we call it in Europe, being hobdayed, and in less than a week, we've sorted out their breathing with the breathing herbs.
Yeah,
And again,
that's
it doesn't work on everyone, but
doesn't work on everybody, but it works on a lot of them.
yeah,
So let's talk briefly about anhidrosis, because um I have a mare. She's one of my old girls. She's 29. And so, summers are brutal in Florida. They're brutal. And so a couple years ago, when she was having a bout of anhidrosis, we started her on a supplement. I've had great results with it. I've had great results with it. She's sweating in her neck, a little bit under her arms and underneath her legs, which was a huge improvement over nothingness, right? And we just in the past month decided to put all of our horses on your supplement, your vitamin supplement. And she has been, I ran out. I'm full disclosure, I ran out like a month ago of the anhidrosis, the anti-sweating stuff.
yeah,
She came in yesterday. She was so sweaty. I've owned this horse, oh my gosh, since 2010. I have never seen her this sweaty. Never seen her this sweaty. And I inherited a horse from my dad, and she just came at the beginning of July. And
yeah.
I noticed, I was like, oh, Dad, she's not, she doesn't sweat. And he goes, oh, no, she doesn't sweat. Panic. So I put her on, the other supplement for just a couple weeks. And that's why I ran out, because I wasn't having two horses on it. And she's sweating brilliantly as well. So that was an added bonus. So far you have taken care of like three of my major problems.
And with just four simple steps that you don't have to stay on all of them all the time. In fact, we like except for the vitamin supplement, which we take our vitamins every day ourselves. So with the exception of that, everything else is use it as you need it, when you need it. Don't abuse it. Keep everything simple.
Right. Correct. That's, I think that's in sort of the bio that we had chatted with you about is,
Yeah.
What is the motto?
Yep. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it
Has to
simple.
just,
Right.
yep.
Because we're all
Kiss your
busy,
feet.
right?
Yep. Yes.
We're
Well,
all
but here's
busy.
the
If we own horses, even if it's just one, they take up a lot of time and a lot of
yeah.
energy, and we want to enjoy them.
Well, and the
Um,
other thing is, I watch people, Donna, because I do farm calls. I come out and I'll go through what you're doing and what's going on and figure out. I go horse to horse and see who has what problem, and go through
right.
it. And I see people and they're like, I walk in and you can't even call it a feed room. It's a supplement room. And they're like, I'm like, why are you
Yes.
feeding those? Why are you feeding those four together? Oh, well, that one is good. And they say that one is really good. And and I thought, well, if I put the four of them together, it would be. And I said, no, what you basically done is poisoned your horse and cancelled most of the good stuff out against each other.
Right.
And that's what
Correct.
people don't realize.
Correct. Exactly. We've been to more than enough farms where, you walk in and it's like, what supplement would you like? Because they've got them all, and yet
Yeah.
their horse is really suffering. And, it's not, I mean, I love those types of people because they will do anything for their horses, which is just absolutely amazing. But at the same time, I think a lot of us horse people tend to be type A personalities.
Yep.
And so we sort of go, yeah, we got it. We don't need any help. We tend to be a little bit independent. And when it
Yes.
comes to feed and supplements, that's absolutely where one size does not fit all. And that's what I love about your 4-step program is one size does not fit all.
Yeah.
And you guys have like different phases, like where's the horse at currently, what phase is he in, and what does he need to detox.
Yes.
Horses that get a lot of vaccinations, that get a lot of drugs, like prescription
Yep.
drugs and things like that,
Hmm.
oh,
And horses that
that have
travel a lot.
fly spray, toxic fly
Yeah.
spray sprayed at them every single day. Um, those are toxins, like the body, like at some point in time needs to help getting rid of those. And so you guys have developed that program and it just works brilliantly.
And just so as you know, like I have a lot of people that pick one product that they love, and that's all they use,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
fine. As a package, my stuff is a weapon. But every
Right.
single product works on its own too. You're not tied into. I'm not rigid about you have to do this or you can't do anything. I'm not rigid about
Right.
that.
Exactly. So, we're going to jump in because one of the things you specialize in is nervous, anxious horses.
Hmm.
And I know you've got a really diverse client base within the horse industry. I know you've always focused like on English disciplines, but I
Yes.
also know you've been, getting your toes wet in the Western world recently as well.
Yeah.
And so that's
Yes.
a great segue. Brian and I are in the process of building a program, a more comprehensive program for horses that have ulcers, because we have had tremendous success using our devices, um, not just us, but our clients, getting their horses over ulcers and even ulcer scars. And so we've been over at a Western barn working on a fabulous barrel horse, uh, pretty high level competition. So this is not, I mean, pretty high level. Um, it's a professional barn, but they love their horses. And we've been making amazing progress. Like within 4 light therapy sessions, the
Yep.
horse is pretty much testing out 0 for ulcers.
Well,
However, our magic mat is blue. The color of it's blue. It's tarp blue, right?
okay.
And Brian pulled it out every time we've gone over there. We've pulled it out. We've tried introducing it to and he goes from being this super sleepy, quiet, relaxed Zen quarter horse to all of a sudden he is alert and he's not snorting, but he's backing up. And it's just like all of a sudden he gets really tense and scared. So you and I started talking about it, and I wanted to go a little bit deeper on that.
So here's the thing. Either there's two options. I'm leaning towards option two, but option one could be that he had a bad experience with the tarp, and it's
Yeah,
like muscle memory in the brain.
yeah.
I'm more leaning
But
towards,
the horsewoman is very conscientious, and
yeah.
so I don't know that that's exactly my gut feeling was that wasn't it.
And when you said that to me about being such an incredibly excellent horsewoman, that's why I'm leaning towards, I think he's on the spectrum. I think he's on the
I've
spectrum
heard
of
horses being
autistic.
on the spectrum.
So I dealt a lot with it in Florida last winter with different competition horses. And if anyone's ever been to WEC there in Ocala, in the Grand Arena, when you go down the ramp and you see this massive big jumbotron, and it's purple and it's bright and it's and you can there's all kinds, and the colors too. somebody autistic or a being that's autistic or on that spectrum, they're horrific. And these horses, like, they will rear up and run back ways up the ramp. They just physically cannot do the night classes. Um, and so there's a lot of work and studying to be done there. I'm not done yet. I'm going to have real fun with this. Some of them we have helped with, and I'm hoping a collaboration between you and Brian and myself and my brother. Your products, our crown piece, and then maybe even the detox and the vitamin, just to level the
Yeah,
tryptophan, level get the serotonin running and the endorphins, because that's what the
right.
crown does, is get the endorphins going, and the detox gets the serotonin going. So maybe if we can
Right.
overpower it with that, and then your own products, the red light and all the other therapy. But I think it's a strong possibility. We're looking at a highly talented horse on the spectrum, and that bright blue color is a trigger.
Yeah, he's super, like, super talented, super
Because you said
talented horse.
he's so calm with everything else, he's almost asleep.
Yeah, yeah, like, and he's fine with the handheld devices. Like, we've done, we've gone all over it. Like, he's been a perfect gentleman. He's not shut down. Like, he's like really high quality. And so, and we've done lots of approach and retreat with him every single time. We've and it's just something that he just, like, can't deal with, cannot
Yep,
physically see. Like, from a if we don't show it to him, we can put it on him and we can use it absolutely fine. But if he sees it,
yep,
and so we did an eye check. She just had the vet out, and they checked his eyes, and they're absolutely fine. So it's going to be super interesting to have her explore maybe a little bit more with you, him being on the spectrum, and also, like, because he has ulcers, like, there's got to be a deficiency somewhere. I don't want to say a deficiency, an imbalance somewhere within the feed program.
I'm fairly convinced of that. And remember that where the ulcers are coming from, it would all tie
Right.
in together. If there's an imbalance somewhere in the diet, then you're already dealing with the stress and the anxiousness from the being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's a natural trail that you're going to have
Yeah.
ulcers, and then he's
Yeah.
going to be in pain and not
Absolutely.
wanting to. Yep, and he's not going to want to eat correctly. He's not. You're going to have all. It's just an avalanche.
Well, and that's one of her complaints, was that he stays in during the day and goes out at night to pasture, which is very common in Florida.
Yes.
But during the day, she would give him one flake of hay, and he wouldn't finish it.
Uh,
And that's not enough. And so her biggest complaint was, like, he won't eat. Like, if he gets nervous at all or something like that, he won't eat. She'll put him out in the pasture with his leftover hay, and he won't eat. And so that's actually one of the things, like, the first thing that happened was, after we treated him the first time, she put him out to pasture. He ate his hay, and then when she brought him in the next day, he gobbled up all of his hay. So there was a huge shift in that, but it goes back to the root cause. And I don't feel that it's a trait, like, so it's a fine balance, right? Because is it a
yep.
training issue? Is it a pain issue from something else that triggered, or is it stress, or is it food? And so I feel like with this guy, I think that it's going to be an imbalance. So it will be very
Yep.
interesting to have you come do a assessment and do a nutritional consult with her.
Yeah, I cannot wait to dig deeper into this because I think we're going to find a lot of great things. Something I would love to know is, has there ever been any soft tissue injuries? Um,
No,
you know, no sign of
no,
EPM,
no, no,
lines.
he's only 6. He's only
Yeah,
6. He's
yeah.
only 6. Yeah,
So, yeah. So
yeah,
we're going down the neurologic path, and we'll have to be watching as time goes on. I'll be watching closely for anhidrosis, and I'll be trying to get in front of it. You know,
correct. Correct. That is one of the things because it's been hot when we've been going over there, to the
yeah,
point where we're in the barn in the shade and all the humans are sweating and he's like not. So
yeah,
that's why I tend to feel like there's something a little bit deeper than
yep.
that.
And I
And
yeah. No, I was just going to say, and sorry to put you off there, but I with a lot of the vets that I've worked with down in Florida and still work with, what we're looking at is what's causing the anhidrosis, and what we're seeing is it's neurologic, it's musculoskeletal, it's gastrointestinal, and
right.
very small fraction is geographic, and the small
Correct.
fraction being
Well,
geographic,
except but don't you feel like, I mean, our horses were in Florida, so our summer starts in April, and they're
yes.
sweating, they're subjected to the elements, and we're going to have hot weather. Our summer lasts 6+ months.
Yes,
So, from that perspective, just by the sheer volume of the core minerals that they're losing on a daily basis,
correct.
and if you're not zoned in on it, it can it can get out of hand real quick and it can get away from you real quick, which I think
Yep,
compounds all of these other.
correct. Correct. And that's why I said gastrointestinal as well. But like really and truly, if they have an old injury or any form of pain,
Yeah,
you know yourself, if you've got a sore stomach, you know,
yeah,
certain things are gonna steamroll. And
yes,
totally agree. And I mean, if the whole thing was just geography, not a horse in Florida would sweat. Not
correct,
one.
correct. Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um,
So that's
so
why I like to dig deeper into the roots of what's causing it.
correct. And that's what I think makes you so and Parkmore Supplements so different is it's not just here you go, have at it, good luck with that, let me know how it works out. It's hey, if you're dealing with a specific situation, we can help you troubleshoot it, and this is the roadmap that you need to go down and need to take. And I love the fact that you bring into it the experience of being a lifelong breeder and producer and rider of show jumping courses
Yep,
because I think jumping courses probably have one of the most stressful jobs out there, and so you can troubleshoot it from like a multi-dimensional approach.
yep,
So
yep.
if people would like to get a hold of you and if they have questions, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
My phone is attached to my ear, like, pretty much 24/7. So you can call me, and my number is 502-265-8345, or you can email parkmoresupplements@gmail.com. And, I'm available. I will answer. People find it strange that the owner of a company will answer the phone on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, that's me. That's what I do. I want to know my customers I need my customers to know I'm there. You're not a customer. When you buy, and you know this, Donna, when you
Yeah.
become part of the Parkmore family, it's,
Yep.
I'm bringing you and all your animals into my fold, and
Yep.
I've got your back, and you need to know that, and even new people dipping their toes into finding out what we do here. I want people to be able to reach out to me. And,
Yes,
as my team
absolutely.
expands, there's members of the team in different areas around the country. And, very soon we'll have a page up with everybody's contact info on there on the website. So if there's somebody in your area close to you, you can get that same farm consult. Maybe
Yep,
not just as harsh as I can be when I go in, because I can be harsh, because I'm about the animals. And if I see something, I've gone into
correct.
people's barns and taken products that they just bought and said, this stuff is really mulch. You put it around your trees, and I will pitch it right in front of them.
Right, right, right. I love that about you. You're no BS. It's like you've been around the block, you've seen it, you've done it, you know what works, you know what doesn't work.
Yep.
Let's just cut to the chase and let's just get this animal healthy. And that's one of the
Yes.
things that I love about you. And I also love the fact that I think our core values are very similar in alignment. Like when people buy
Yes.
Photonic, it's not it's not like you're buying it on Amazon and you will never hear or talk to anybody from that company again. We're a living, breathing company. We absolutely will bend over backwards for your
Yep.
animals. We will, we will, we will go to the ends of the earth to try to help your animals. And
And I think that's why we blend so well, because
yeah,
everything that we do together, it's just there's nothing is going to stamp out anything. It's all complementary. And it's all about that
absolutely.
cleaning and rebuilding from the inside out, and then attacking from the outside back in. So the products meet in the middle. And I can't see that we can't help so many horses and dogs.
Right. Correct. And that's going to be the next topic of our next one, because I know you also do dogs, and I think it's a little bit newer, like that line is a
Yes.
little bit newer. And so that's a
Yes.
topic for our another time. So thank you for being on here. If you have any question, if you're a horse person and you have any questions at all, please, please, please reach out to Fleur. She's amazing. She's been so helpful to us in sorting out, these little problems that we've had with our horses. And she's incredibly. Don't be afraid. She thinks she's going to try to make you think that she's really mean, but she's not. She's a super softie. Um, and if you want to know more about her products or go take a look at her website, just click the link below here. We will be carrying it in our office as well because we believe that much in our product, in their product. And I think one of the things is that, like, again, we're so busy, and if we could take something that's sometimes huge and make it super simple, we're going to do that. And I don't endorse any products that I don't personally use and don't personally see any results with. And this is the first supplement that I've used that has been like overall, my entire herd of 7 horses, I've seen such positive improvements. So thank you and your brother for what you do, and thanks for being on today. And please reach out to her if you have any questions, and look for another upcoming episode where we chat about supplements and dogs.
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for being a loyal Parkmore supporter. We love Photonic Health.